It's sold out. It is loud. It is ready. It's one of the best environments in all of college basketball. What a way to spend your Monday night on the Big Ten Network. We're excited to be here with you. Ben Krikke, Zach Edey. The matchup that Robbie talked about just a moment ago, and Purdue controls the tip. Here we go.
It's going to be interesting to see just how many defenses Fran McCaffery goes with here tonight. You'll see 3-2, you'll see 2-3. Right now you got man-to-man. Braden Smith going to... And there, an easy early look at the rim. Simple pick and roll. Iowa's help side just not in. That pass to Edey, too easy if you're the Iowa Hawkeyes.
And Tony Perkins picks up his first personal foul in that game on Friday night that the Wildcats got the upset win over then #1 Purdue. They fell to #4 in the poll today. Zach Edey drew 15 fouls in that game. He draws over 9 a game on this young season. Well, almost 11 at this point on the season. 15 drawn Friday at Northwestern. A remarkable amount of fouls drawn by one individual.
Well, he'll foul your whole front court out, and he's done that to almost every high major team he's played. Northwestern just the latest victim. But the amount of fouls, the offensive rebounds, and then just 7-4 coming at you over 40 minutes, he wears you out. I think these Iowa guards have got to be really looking forward to testing this Purdue perimeter defense. They did not do a good job. 72 points between 3 Wildcat guards.
And there's what Ben Krikke does as well as any post in this league, and I don't think it's too early to say that. He's got a terrific mid-range game.
He's got that 15-footer on automatic. I really like how patient he is. He'll post you up. If he doesn't like it, he'll bring it back out. He has really shot with a high efficiency from 15 feet.
And the post entry pass is turned over. We saw those problems. Matt Painter saw those problems. There were multiple turnovers on Friday night on post entry feeds. 420 wins, still chasing Lou Henson. 3 behind, tying Lou Henson for 5th most career wins in Big Ten history.
Bringing this tempo as well. It's amazing that they are not turning it over, and that's where Peyton Sanford has shot it well off the bounce, but that's an air ball.
There's Fran McCaffery, 14th season as Iowa head coach. He is only 6 wins away from passing the great Dr. Tom Davis for most wins in Iowa basketball history as a head coach.
What an accomplishment that is. And Fran McCaffery has just locked in 20 wins over the last 5 years. He has gotten it done, developed players, and won at a high level.
Lawyer, the offensive rebound with the 3.
What a look, though, from Zach Edey. That's the job on the offensive glass. Iowa going to have to handle that and try to minimize the damage, but Edey looking right out, and Fletcher Lawyer, who had some really good moments offensively at Northwestern, knocking one down early.
Sanford missing on the 3. Purdue looking to get it running. Braden Smith trying to underhand, and it's a turnover.
It's just not there. Braden Smith, he's trying to make something happen, but taking care of the basketball, it's been preached these last couple days. He's got to be better in that regard. 6 turnovers in Evanston.
Here's McCaffery, back to Krikke.
This is where Krikke is also good. These DHOs, he can make plays, but nice active hands, and Braden Smith making up for that turnover by forcing one.
And now Lawyer on the run. A little bobble that thwarted his attack. Plenty of time to reset. Kaufman-Renn, now the entry from Smith to Edey. Lawyer, the open man. Good rotation, just a little short. The push ahead. Perkins, the runner. A little strong. Good bat out by Perkins, and it's saved by Sanford. Perkins was really good in that North Florida win, playing with a heavy heart. His grandmother just passing. He'll actually stay in Indiana, his home state. Funeral is Wednesday. He'll go back to Iowa after that.
Our thoughts go out to Tony Perkins' family, and certainly his grandmother would have been proud of the way he played. North Florida, he was terrific, and that's just too easy for Purdue. That's what I talked about. These Iowa guards are looking to drive that thing. Patrick McCaffery, nice job there getting to the painted area, and just not much resistance from that Purdue defense.
Here's Lawyer, the entry to Edey. Edey has his shot blocked, but a foul. Perkins in the area. If it's Perkins, it's his second, but it will be on Krikke, and that's his first.
That's twice now that we have seen Iowa's help side defense Edey's rolling to the rim. You've got to be in and then get yourself out to these Purdue shooters. Because once Edey gets it that deep and he's got the basketball around the rim, it's either a dunk or he's going to the line to shoot two.
And 3 for 3 to start the night for Edey at the foul line.
Both these teams do a really nice job at getting themselves to the foul line. We've seen it from Purdue here early on. But Iowa not so shabby themselves. They really get to the foul line. They've done a lot of their damage from 2 this year.
Yeah, it's not the run and gun from 3 Iowa Hawkeyes, at least to this point in the year, that we've seen in years past. They lead the Big Ten in free throw percentage. They've made 23 more free throws than their foes have attempted, and they average nearly 20 made free throws a game.
Only 19 three-point field goal attempts a game, so it's a different type of attack.
Lance Jones with the personal, his first team foul.
I'm really looking forward to seeing just how Owen Freeman, his first, you could say, test here of Big Ten plays. Boy, baptism by fire. He has been so good for the Iowa Hawkeyes, been so efficient in that post.
8 to shoot. Bowen in the paint. Way off the mark. Edey rips the rebound away. Boilermakers on the move with a 3-point lead. Smith will turn the corner. The reverse is there.
What a seal there by Trey Kaufman-Renn. And now Lance Jones with a heck of an effort play.
All defensive team in the Valley making a big defensive play in the Big Ten. And we've got a whistle and a foul underneath. Jockeying for position. Owen Freeman and Zach Edey getting tangled up with the freshman. You'll look at the box score after the game. You're not going to see the play Trey Kaufman-Renn made, but it was a huge play to get Braden Smith a bucket.
Well, I like the fact that Braden Smith is looking for his own offense, but you can see Trey Kaufman-Renn matched up with Peyton Sanford, and look at how he just totally seals the lane off. Smith passed on a couple of these in Evanston where he sprayed it out for open threes, but I still think it's important for him to look for his own. That's been talked about so much for Braden Smith coming off ball screens looking for his pull-up, but there, Trey Kaufman-Renn just sealing the way and paving the way for a Purdue basket.
Ethan Morton with the missed 3, but there's Edey for the offensive board and the second chance. Cameron Heide will try from range. That spins out, and Edey tracks it down again.
Probably lucky there. He discarded Tony Perkins, and that certainly could have been an offensive foul.
Mason Gillis, the 3rd time's the charm for Purdue from behind the arc. Elbow jumper, trying to quiet the crowd. He will not. Rebounded by Heide.
The defense by Purdue. McCaffrey's so good at curling those into the lane, and then they get Mason Gillis. And Painter telling him pump the brakes a little bit. Steps there, and Purdue turning it over again.
Wednesday, Penn State takes on Maryland. The Nebraska faces Minnesota. Don't miss a Big Ten Hoops doubleheader full of Kugler and Hummel. Wednesday only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. McCaffrey. There's Owen Freeman, the handoff to Perkins. Bowen, tough pass. Perkins driving to the rim. Count the bucket and the foul. Outstanding English from Tony Perkins. He'll go to the line.
Well, it's the dribble drive from Iowa, but then it's the cut there by Tony Perkins. That's what has to have these Purdue coaches concerned about the Iowa Hawkeye offense. They can get downhill. Tony Perkins over the last 2 games showing that he can score the rock. Honestly, we saw it last year. With 32 against Illinois, 24 against Michigan State, had 23 in the win in Indiana. He's an honorable mention All Big Ten guy last year, but I just think if he can be a little more consistent, Tony Perkins can be an All Big Ten player in this league. He's got that type of ability.
That foul on Heide, his first. 5-point Purdue lead. Looking for Edey underneath. Hawkeyes all around him. The 3 from Morton. Guess what? Offensive rebound.
It's man's game down in the paint right now. I mean, every time a shot goes up, and it's not just Edey, it's Gillis as well. And Iowa having a hard time on the glass. You give Purdue that many opportunities, eventually they're going to burn you.
That's the second trip down the floor that Purdue's had 3 shots, and the third one from 3 goes in.
And the Hawkeyes have not been a great defensive rebounding team on the year.
Bowen the open man, and Bowen with the answer. Good find in the corner.
He was right there. Purdue trying to close out. Got a decent contest, but still Desante Bowen just 25% from 3 on the year, making a big one.
Edey, there's that trap. Passes out of it easily to Mason Gillis.
You bring that trap. That time Desante Bowen gets caught just falling asleep, doesn't crack down, and Purdue not going to get an easier look at the rim than right there.
Gillis with 5 early for Purdue. 17-10 lead. Perkins deep 2 over Edey, won't go. Rebound loose, and Morton able to secure it. Starts it up the floor for the Boilermakers, up by 7. Morton almost got away with that one. Looks inside for Edey, poked away by Freeman. He gathers, count it, and the foul. He's too big, he's too strong, and he'll go to the line to add to the 2.
Anytime Purdue can enter the basketball from the top of the key into Zach Edey, good things are going to happen. I mean, you can see just how much contact there is, and Zach Edey just does not matter, goes right through it. Morton looked a little bit out of sorts early in that play, but gathering himself, did a nice job of throwing that thing right inside where it needs to go.
Let's check in with Andy Katz.
Already we've seen in these first couple of minutes here of this first half, the contributions from the bench. Gillis, Morton, Edey. Matt Painter talked about this afternoon. He wants to play 10 players, and here in December, he's really maximizing that bench and getting quality contributions.
Well, his squad with a 10-point advantage early. Cricky with a quick close from Edey, and the rebound off the miss for Cameron Edey. And that out of bounds. Yeah,
Owen Freeman, heads up play.
And Freeman playing with 2 fouls making that play.
Cam Edey just bringing that thing down. Well, I think the official thought that maybe that hit off Heidi's knee, and from seeing that replay, I think Owen Freeman just totally swiped that out, and there was never contact.
Looked like it on the replay.
Great for the Hawkeyes.
Freeman just the 1 foul, by the way. 14 fouls for Iowa. Freeman going to work, trying to cross over Edey, and he'll back it out.
I like the probe, though. I mean, trying to putting Zach Edey in the play and making him guard. Freeman can handle it. And Josh Dix just continues to be a model of efficiency. 3rd nationally in offensive rating. I mean, he's just been so efficient. Doesn't turn it over. Shooting a crazy high percentage. Knocking down a mid-range jumper there.
He just doesn't seem to make many mistakes when he's on the floor.
He really doesn't. You have to think that you keep doing that, you're going to stay on the floor.
I think Edey will stay on the floor.
He just manhandles you, but here's that break. I mean, there is no time to celebrate a made shot against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Great job taking that right out of the rim and just pushing tempo.
Cricky down with 4, 22-14 Purdue. Who's going to get a stop? Gillis. Dump down. Freeman tips it away. Ball loose. Still loose. Lance Jones diving for it. Like he was diving over the goal line, and a timeout taken by the Boilermakers. Jones with the hustle, and the Boilermakers keep the ball. Fran McCaffrey not happy. Crowd not sympathetic. Fran McCaffrey's just been assessed a technical foul by Eric Curry.
Well, we saw Fletcher Lawyer call a heads-up timeout Friday at the end of regulation for Purdue, and here you're going to see him trying to call timeout as soon as Lance Jones jumps on this. Now, to me, I think that he's calling this simultaneously as the tie-up happens, so I understand why Fran McCaffrey's upset, but I just think that's a situation where You get a technical foul. You know, you've hung in here through a tough start where Purdue has gotten to the foul line, gotten some easy buckets for Edey. I don't agree with the call, but I just think that Fran McCaffrey, that's a tough spot to put your team in there with the tech. But I do understand where he's coming from, because I think that tie-up was happening simultaneously with the timeout call.
So Mason Gillis will shoot the technical foul shots. He's had a good start to this game. 6 points for Gillis. Coming up, the Big Ten Live Basketball post-game delivers highlights, expert analysis, and press conferences coming up after the game on Big Ten Network.
We see the big fellow, Zach Edey, taking his first rest, and maybe this is the time where Purdue can get Trey Kaufman-Renn into a rhythm. Just never found it. 0 for 3 from the field at Northwestern Friday. Splitted all of his free throws, 3 of 6 from the line, but with him out there, sometimes they're going to play through him when he's at the 5.
Boyer dumps it down low. Caleb first. Knocked away. It'll go out of bounds, and it'll belong to the Hawkeyes.
That's one where Caleb first just got to catch that thing and go up and score it. A nice pass from Fletcher Lawyer. Caleb first relocating. Nice job by Iowa hanging in on that play and getting a contest.
Sanford up top to Cricky. Can they take advantage of Edey getting a breather right now? In the corner, the 3 won't go. Laji Dembele. Dembele off the bench. Cricky inside. And I believe Cricky touched it twice, and that'll be belonging to the Purdue Boilermakers.
Interesting to see. Edey goes to the bench, and Iowa with a multiple offensive rebound possession there. No Edey on the floor means Purdue is going to have to gang rebound all 5 players. Iowa getting some nice opportunities there, but coming up empty-handed.
The 3 for Jones will fall. And the Boilermakers with their largest lead at 13.
Josh Dix was really concerned about the roll man, Trey Kaufman-Renn. That's where he should be. That's where we saw Edey get those early rolls to the basket. This time Dix is in, but that's what makes Purdue such a tough guard, is that they do have perimeter players that can make shots, and Lance Jones making you pay in that pick and roll.
There's Dix in the corner to Perkins.
Dembele, and now an offensive foul.
Well, going from bad to worse for the Hawkeyes on the road. Dembele with his first personal.
Just kind of never comes set, but to be honest with you, that to me is on Josh Dix. He leaves way early. Dembele, a freshman, he's thinking, I've got to get a body here on this screen. Josh Dix has got to help him out, give him a little bit more time to come set.
Braden Smith. Dembele on him. 10 to shoot. He'll dump it down to Trey Kaufman-Renn. Matched up against Perkins. Perkins already with 1 foul, and a great job posting by Kaufman-Renn.
Good patience there by Braden Smith. He saw that mismatch in the post and went right to it with Trey Kaufman-Renn.
Oh, Purdue right now, 29-14. Perkins. Rotation around. This is Dix. His shot blocked by Ethan Morton. Wow.
These are the types of plays that Ethan Morton is on the floor for. He plays incredibly hard, and defense leading to offense. Purdue starting to break and giving Iowa a little taste of their own medicine.
Timeout, Hawkeyes.
excellent job here off this ball screen. You see the switch. He's got Laji Dembele. Trey Kaufman-Renn has Tony Perkins. Took his time. Perkins, like you said, Kevin, doesn't want to take that second foul. And then off the Ethan Morton block, Iowa scrambling in transition. Braden Smith setting the table, and Fletcher Lawyer stepping up to the plate and drilling it from three.
32-14 all Purdue. 9:15 to go in this first half. Boilermakers shooting a robust 59% from the floor. Robbie, 5 of 11 from three-point land.
This is what makes them such a tough guard and such a tough scout. It all starts with Zach Edey, but Purdue does have some real weapons around him. Smith running the show. He's off to a terrific sophomore start to his season. Other guys that can burn you, and right now Purdue flexing their muscles offensively. Who is the answer, though, for Iowa? You know, they've had an alpha dog for so long the last 5 years, and right now I think the Hawkeyes are still trying to figure out who that leader is.
Yeah, no Murray out there, no Garza out there. Who will be that big-time scorer in moments like this? Ball loose on the floor.
Making some plays right now.
Morton was trying to call timeout. The possession arrow favors Purdue as we check in with Andy.
And the consensus, to follow your point, is it has to be Tony Perkins. As you guys mentioned, there has been a big-time, all Big Ten Player of the Year type scorer, whether it's Murray brothers, Garza, even Joe Wieskamp. But Perkins is the player that is best suited to be that go-to takeover player because he can create his own shot.
Well defended underneath by Caleb First. Everything clicking tonight from all fronts for Purdue.
Oh, and Caleb First just going vertical and making Cricky score over the top. He's in a tough spot, but that's exactly what you teach your post to do.
Short on that shot. And pushing up the floor quickly is Perkins to the rim. Again, nice body contortion to get to the rim for two.
You miss a shot badly, you are just putting your defense at such a disadvantage. Now Iowa finally scores. They can set their pressure, and Dick's going to get charged with a foul, but
that's the 7th team foul, so a 1-and-1 opportunity. Sunday, it's a huge day of hoops on the Big Ten Network. First, Caitlin Clark leads the Hawkeyes into a matchup with Wisconsin. Then a men's hoops doubleheader takes center stage. Iowa hosts Michigan, then Michigan State against Nebraska. Coverage begins 2:30 Eastern only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. First misses the front end of the 1-and-1. And now Iowa trying to convert on this end. Hawks trying to chip away against a very determined Purdue team. There's Dix. The dish to Dembele off the shot fake. Dembele can't get that one to go, and there's Morton again.
Well, Purdue's activity level defensively is clearly bothering the Hawkeyes. I mean, Dembele looked like he had a shot. They closed it down, and you hesitate. A lot of times, you're better off just moving it if you don't shoot the initial one.
Well, and that activity level is way up from what we saw Friday night.
Well, they had such issues containing the bounce. This ball is moving, and there's energy on both sides, and right now Iowa just does not have an answer for this Purdue offense with Zach Edey over there on the bench.
Yeah, it's a different offense, but it stretched the lead without the big man. A concern certainly for the Hawkeyes. Perkins driving inside, First coming over to help, didn't matter.
That's a big-time take, just right down that right lane line. Tony Perkins making something happen. He's going to have to be the guy like Andy talked about. I'm starting to see him come alive a little bit here into the first half.
Kaufman-Renn, hook shot, a little strong, Cricky with the board. Still plenty of time in this first half for Iowa to chip away. Cricky will have to play a role. Perkins has played a role. The high arcing three over the backboard, out of bounds. With 6:38 to go, a timeout on the floor. Terrific crowd on hand at Mackey Arena. They're being treated so far a 34-18 advantage for the home team. 6:38 remaining in half number one.
Painter talked about in his pre-Iowa media availability about how important it would be for them to score just to get back and set their defense. You know, it's not just turnovers, but you start missing shots, and all of a sudden Iowa's off to the races. But so far, Purdue's done a pretty good job. They're shooting a high-level percentage from the field, and their offense has been on point tonight, which has helped their defense.
Morton will hand it off to Smith. Smith, the runner to the rim. Can't get that to go, and the rebound tipped into the hands of Dix.
Patrick McCaffrey's got to ready to shoot that.
That was an open three, turned it down. Now he'll try. Off the mark on that one from the left wing. The rebound, Braden Smith.
Still got a good look, but you don't see many Iowa Hawkeye offenses not ready to let it fly when they're getting it on in transition.
Edey has it poked free by Cricky. Good defense by the Valparaiso transfer. Fifth turnover for Purdue. There's Brock Harding, the freshman guard. Gives up about a foot. Edey, Cricky, the runner, no, and the rebound tipped around to Smith.
That's a good look, and you just have to think it's the Zach Edey effect. He blocks and alters so many shots around the rim. Cricky right where he needs to be, but just couldn't finish.
Edey inside, working against the freshman, and follows his own miss.
It's just, you're asking a freshman an awful lot to physically battle Zach Edey, and Owen Freeman, if you go through that passing lane and don't get it, you are just in a world of hurt.
There's Harding driving against Morton. 36-18 Purdue. In the corner, that's not going to go. The rebound for Braden Smith. Smith for three. And Dix there to get the rebound. McCaffrey stripped but a foul. Braden Smith got a hand in there, trying to poke it free. Picks up his first personal, fourth team foul on Purdue.
That's when Iowa is at their best, when they can get out in transition. That's definitely a foul. That's the right call there. Braden Smith getting plenty of arm. Patrick McCaffrey opportunistic in the open floor and making something happen, getting to the rim.
One more for McCaffrey. Miles Colvin checking in. 6'5" freshman from Indianapolis. Mason Gillis, who had the hot hand when he was in a moment ago, with 7 points, returns to the game.
You mentioned Purdue and some of their issues throwing the ball into the post, and I just think back to when I was playing in college. Jawan Johnson, who would post up, and we were always instructed, you don't have to lead him, you don't have to put a bunch of air under it, just throw a pass and have it, if he were to not catch it, have it go right through his chin. And I think that sometimes Purdue is putting so much air under these passes. Some of these passes are really long, but they have got to find ways to put that thing into the post and not turn it over. That's just, they're doing it way too often, and especially when you got a weapon like Zach Edey, they've got to clean that up.
Well, you have a large range of space to get that ball into the post. You throw it anywhere near him, he's likely going to get it. Colvin's three not going to go. Edey has it knocked out of his hands by Cricky.
Good job by Cricky, just staying in that play.
Harding jumps it over to Cricky. Hawkeyes down 16 on the road. Harding from the elbow, a little leaner, not going to go. Cricky chasing it down, and then did he flip it off the leg of Fletcher Lawyer? He did. It's a really nice play. It'll take it. Back courtside, that's Robbie Hummel. I'm Kevin Kugler. You got an Iowa offense, Robbie, that's averaging almost 91 points per game. The best offense by far in the early stages of the Big Ten. But yet 20 points on the board with 3:46 to go in this first half.
And you're talking about an offense that's top 15 in offensive efficiency in all of college basketball. But you look at the numbers, just 4 fast break points, only 10 points in the paint. They're 1 of 7 from the three-point line. Peyton Sanford has not scored. And outside of Tony Perkins, no one else for the Iowa Hawkeyes has scored more than 4 points. So it has just been a real struggle, not just having to fight this Zach Edey-led offense on the defensive end, but putting up points. That's at a premium right now for the Hawkeyes.
Krikke, the runner off the timeout, won't go, and Fletcher Lawyer on the deck, tied up by Freeman. Possession arrow is going to give it the other way to Purdue.
Those are shots that Krikke has made over the first 7 games of the season for Iowa. You know, he can really drive it, play out on the perimeter. We talked about his ability to make shots from 15 feet. Just a crafty scorer, and it's the guy that led the Missouri Valley in scoring last season at Valparaiso. It's translated so far this season, but tonight it's been rough sledding here in West Lafayette.
Under 3.5 to go in this first half. All Purdue so far. Lawyer drives inside. Freeman challenges, and Lawyer just goes right through him for points 7 and 8.
He just never stopped the basketball. Purdue loves getting Fletcher Lawyer to that right hand off the dribble handoff. Owen Freeman really not stopping him until he's all the way to the basket.
Well, if Iowa's going to make a comeback, Peyton Sanford's going to have to start getting it going. It's been a slow night so far. 0 for 3 from the floor for Sanford.
He kind of found his way out of a shooting slump. Last 2 games, 6 of 14 from 3. You look at the 3 prior, he was just 2 of 15. He's been a little bit streaky in his career at Iowa. They certainly need him, and they need him to be a factor offensively, and it goes back to what we kind of talked about. The alpha dog in the offense has moved on, and that was Chris Murray. And for the first time since Luka Garza, I think Iowa looking at their offense and saying, who is our go-to guy? And it's probably going to change on a night-to-night basis as of right now.
Perkins saves it, but it ends up back in the hands of the Boilermakers. Up 18. Morton coming open as Colvin. The 3 not going to go. Look at the lean by Edey. Like he was in an easy chair getting that rebound. And then the inbound almost taken away by Colvin.
Twice now we've seen Purdue just waiting. Iowa loves to get their guards to a certain spot to start their secondary break. Purdue's been able to take advantage.
Peyton Sanford. Krikke now drives to the rim, got past Edey, everything but the bucket, and Perkins slithers in to clean it up.
Credit Tony Perkins for staying with that play. Looked like Krikke had an easy layup. Nothing easy right now for the Hawkeyes, but Perkins making something happen. I just feel like Iowa looks so sped up in their half-court offense.
Smith looking for Edey, Krikke in front. They'll skip it to Colvin. The 3 won't go. Rebound batted out, and it's controlled by Purdue.
Offensive glass is just where Purdue is living right now.
10th offensive rebound of this first half for the Boilermakers. Dominating this first half in almost every aspect. Touch pass to Gillis. 3 at the top. A little strong, and Sanford the rebound.
That was actually a misread there from Braden Smith. Mason Gillis was wide open top of the key. Tony Perkins easily could have stolen that pass. It ended up still being a good look, but it's one where Braden Smith not making the right read initially.
It's Harding to the rim, the freshman from Moline, Illinois, with his first 2 points in Big Ten play.
Oh, really likes him. Mr. Basketball in the state of Illinois last year. Terrific passer. Also a high school teammate of Owen Freeman, but making something happen, getting into the paint area and getting it done at the rim.
You know you've got to be a talented high school player. First time in over a decade as Colvin throws it down. Then Mr. Basketball was not in the Chicago area as Colvin throws it down. Harding will bring it back up at it.
That's something that Miles Colvin can do. He's a proven shot maker, so you got to close out to him. But Zach Edey doing the job, sealing the lane, and we've seen Purdue bigs do that multiple times here tonight.
Quick 3 for Price Sanford, and the rebound, Ethan Morton. About a 4-second difference, game clock, shot clock. So Purdue will hold for most of the remainder of a first half that's been dominated by the home team. Edey, 13 points, 9 rebounds. Gives it up, Smith, up top, Gillis, wide open 3. Half-court heat will not go. All Boilermakers, 45-24. 21-point lead at the break. Andy Katz is standing by with Matt Painter.
Well, Matt, how would you grade your team's resiliency after what we saw Friday night?
I thought we played well. I thought our defense was much better. We're around the ball. We didn't let them get free too many times for shots, but I thought we were great on the glass. I don't know what the numbers are, but I thought our guys were just around the ball and really had multiple efforts.
You just told me, report that quickness. What did you see out there?
No question. No, I just thought, like right there, just getting on the glass and getting us that extra possession and then having poise, Mason stepping up and making that three. I thought our guys did a really good job of just knowing what's coming and just being around the ball.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it was a dominant first half for Purdue on all ends of the floor. Let's see if Iowa can get it jump-started here.
Peyton Sanford has got to be a factor out here. Really, Purdue did a nice job. And there's Crickey's ability to drive in there, move Zach Edey, and create some offense by getting to the foul line.
Are you surprised we didn't see more of that attack from Crickey in the first half?
Well, I thought that he missed a couple looks that he's made all season long, and maybe that took away a little bit of his aggressiveness. But yes, I think that his advantage going against Zach Edey is not going to be posting him up. It's going to be moving him on the perimeter, playing 5 out, getting the dribble handoffs, picking and popping.
Well, remember, this is his first taste
That's chicken
of Big
sandwich.
Ten play. That's the chicken sandwich, second time. That's why the crowd's cheering so much.
What a promotion that is. This place doesn't need any help to be loud, but the chicken sandwich deal on 2 missed foul shots is pretty high level.
On a 2-shot foul, if you miss back-to-back, you get the free chicken, and then on the other end, Lance Jones keeps the cheering going with a 3.
That's an incredible pass from Braden Smith across his body, across the floor. That help side's in on Edey, and Lance Jones is cashing out from the left wing.
And Sanford just throws it away. Nobody there. He was looking for Bowen. And a 5th turnover.
He threw it to Josh Dix on the bench. You can see Tony Perkins has got to be in to take Edey as the roller. Braden Smith is just spraying that across the floor. If that pass is on a laser like that, you are never getting out there to contest.
They break the pressure. Lawyer on his way in lost that ball out of bounds. It's going to be tipped out by Iowa, and it'll stay with Purdue. Goodness. What a start for Purdue. Defensive play. Inbound off the back of Sanford.
What a heads-up play. Peyton Sanford watching the floor, and Lance Jones just threw it right off his back.
Sanford and Bowen knifing inside. No. Crickey, yes. Push. It's Jones again. Drives baseline. This has been the Lance Jones show to start this second half.
Purdue really attacking Iowa's press and attacking it to score. Once again, Zach Edey just sealing off Crickey, and that's an uncontested layup for Lance Jones.
10 now for Jones. Perkins jumper over Edey. Kaufman-Renn with the rebound and the push for Braden Smith. And a bounce. Jones again. He'll go to the line. Here's that heads-up play.
Everything continuing to go right. Peyton Sanford watching the action on the floor, and Lance Jones heads up. Absolutely loving it. Purdue's offense in quite the groove here.
Owens foul his first, not a shooting foul, so Purdue will inbound.
Well, they had Edey. Fletcher Loyer, I mean, he had Desante Bowen.
Here's Jones. Going to work again. Deep 2. Yeah, that's going to go down right now.
He's just getting his game on. I mean, the confidence that Lance Jones is playing with, but you make an open 3, you get a drive to the basket, now they're closing out hard to you. It's an easy game. Show the ball, get to your 1 dribble pull-up.
Easier game right now for Purdue than it is for Iowa. As the foul is on Braden Smith. That's his second. Lance Jones. My goodness, what a start to the second half, Andy.
Lance Jones is exactly what Purdue needed after that loss to FDU. He's exactly what Matt Painter needed, a player that can push tempo, that can defend, give them a little more athleticism. And, of course, it helped out much better Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer are, too.
Edey's pretty good. Dumped down inside for the two-hand flush.
Purdue just continuing to bludgeon this press. I mean, they are attacking it to score every time down.
Oh, nice shot fake by Cricky. He is really skilled, and as he gets more and more comfortable in Big Ten play, he's going to have a really nice shot.
He does a nice job relocating as well. I mean, he finds open areas, and these Iowa guards all season long have found him.
Nice catch by Edey. He'll go to the line for a pair. That was a tough post feed to handle, but Edey, with those good hands, able to pull it in.
Just kind of knocked it up and then corralled it. And when he gets the ball at the rim like that, good things are going to happen for Purdue.
Well, not a shooting foul. Let's say the foul on the floor. Looked like he was on his way up, but Purdue will inbound. There's Kaufman-Renn. They'll leave him all alone. The three won't go. There's Edey looking for the rebound and a foul. And Cricky surprised by that foul as he picks up his third.
You can see Iowa's trying to zone up on these under out of bounds, and Purdue is finding open seams. And right there, Trey Kaufman-Renn. I mean, he's not going to get a more open look than that.
There's Edey inside to the rim with one hand. 17 points, 10 rebounds for Edey, and what a challenge. The foul is called. Kaufman-Renn. Big time challenge, but he picks up the foul.
That's why you go aggressively if you're an offensive player. Now, I thought Trey Kaufman-Renn got all ball in this play. Tough to tell there. Tony Perkins, you do give credit to the offensive player for going with an aggressive mindset. That was ball. I mean, that is a clean block.
All right, so he's missed the first free throw.
Yes,
do you get a second chicken sandwich? Inquiring minds want to know.
I'm trying to eat dinner.
Nope. Moot point at this point. But I mean, they put the sponsor back up, so maybe, like, could you end up with 5 or 6 chicken sandwiches?
So Purdue's got to schedule some worse free throw shooting teams to get the students right.
351st free throw shooting team in America as Lance Jones is doing everything right now.
How many times have we seen Purdue's guards drive aggressively and their bigs just seal the lane?
14 for Jones, another Edey block. Iowa with 15 to shoot. Sanford, step back, no, rebound, Kaufman-Renn. Purdue in a hurry every time down the floor. This team is crisp tonight. Edey against the freshman double cups. Lawyer for 3. Rebound, Kaufman-Renn throws him off the window.
It was Owen Freeman trying to block out Zach Edey, and then Trey Kaufman-Renn is just there all by himself. Offensive glass just continuing to overwhelm the Hawkeyes.
Tipped out of bounds, and it's going the other way, and a timeout on the floor. Lance Jones, a lot to smile about tonight, especially in this second half. Purdue up by 30 at home.
Get to love you.
Shop K's Big Holiday Sale. Savings this big won't last long. Only at K.
Say you're looking for the perfect present. You might try looking at the perfect place. A place with gifts that light up a face as well as a room. Where it's easy to find the brands they'll love and the advice you trust. That place isn't a warehouse store. That place is your local Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock. With service so good, it's guaranteed. This Christmas, order online and we'll have it ready for pickup in 15 minutes.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. DirecTV Sports Central brings your game stats and scores together, and now you can get it without a satellite. One more reason to finally get rid of cable. But getting rid of the cable guy might not be as easy.
Oh, yeah.
Visit DirecTV.com for up to a $400 reward card.
We are leaders who dream big, working together to improve lives off the field. With nearly 2,500 cancer researchers shaping the next generation of care, awarding more than 9,000 doctorate degrees annually, preparing the next generation of teachers, inventors, and researchers, while launching nearly 150 new startups every year to fuel the economy. We are the Big Ten, and together, we are unstoppable.
How about that first half?
I mean, that offense, they were slicker than a $2 suit on a $3 smile.
Let's go back to the studio.
Where? Okay, let's go to three.
A $3 smile. What do you mean? You doing, Bradshaw?
I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, do you reckon I can say butter my butt and call me a biscuit on live TV?
I do not think you should say that.
Copy that.
Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. Big Ten Plus delivers thousands of non-televised live events, access to next-day on-demand replays, multi-view to watch up to 4 games at once, and a 24/7 channel for your favorite school. There's no plus like home. Subscribe and stream for as low as $9.95 a month at BigTenPlus.com. Fran McCaffrey and the Iowa Hawkeyes looking a little stunned right now. Lance Jones, 11 second-half points. Purdue has outscored Iowa by 9 since coming out of the locker room.
Purdue has just attacked this pressure once again. And they're at the rim, and it's another easy bucket for the Purdue Boilermakers.
19 points, 10 rebounds. Edey with his 60th straight game in double figures and his 46th career double-double. And it is all Purdue. If you were wondering how Purdue would respond to their loss on Friday, this is the answer. Cricky drives in, and he'll draw the foul. Mason Gillis impeding his path, picks up the personal foul.
Ben Cricky is so good at faking that little dribble handoff, taking an angle like he's going to hand it off to a guard, and then just beelining it to the rim. He fools the opposing team's big twice or 3 times a game with that very move, and that's exactly what he did to Mason Gillis right there.
9 points for Cricky. He's scored in double figures 27 straight times.
We were talking to Fran McCaffrey today at shoot-around, and he was on a Valparaiso team that really struggled to shoot. So he was seeing multiple bodies every time out. The fact that he was still able to lead that conference in scoring in the Valley, pretty impressive stuff.
Pretty impressive there from Fletcher Lawyer. Good take. He's into double figures with 10.
Just a nice flash, though.
Yep.
Nathan Morton needed a lifeline, and he found his way to the middle of the floor, and then a strong drive.
Freeman challenged by Edey, blocked. It'll go out of bounds. It'll stay with the Hawkeyes. Back to Cricky for a second, though, Robbie. We were talking also at that shoot-around, which is the practice that teams have the day of the game, and they had Philip Rebraca the last couple of years. Another guy they brought up from a lower level, the lower Division I school, and Rebraca took about a year for him to really feel comfortable in this league. Do you think Cricky's going to have that same sort of adjustment?
You know, so far, he hasn't. And I think Rebraca, part of that was the personnel he was playing with.
Sure.
He deferred, and deferred, and then his senior year, he was terrific. I thought last year he was great. But Cricky has been a real force scoring. It hasn't been so good tonight, but I think that he is certainly acclimated pretty well so far.
Oh, Edey cleaning it up inside. Goodness.
There's just nothing easy for Iowa right now about the offensive end of the floor. And it just feels so easy for Purdue. Man, just pass, catch, and one. And it's an easy game for the Boilermakers right now.
Go to the block first on the other end.
He is just always around. He's omnipresent, it seems like, because even when he's not blocking shots, guys on the floor are thinking about him. It's just too easy for Purdue, but they are just having their way with this Iowa defense.
And
one shot, man, one.
You know, we talked about this on Friday night. Right now, Zach Edey is still the front runner to win National Player of the Year for the second season in a row. And if that happens, he joins an unbelievably elite group of players in the history of this game. Jerry Lucas, Lou Alcindor, Bill Walton, and Ralph Sampson. Can you believe that? That's the group he would be with if he wins 2 National Player of the Year awards.
Yeah, that is heady company indeed as Brock Harding rains down the 3 for Iowa. For the Hawkeyes, just 3 of 12 from 3 tonight.
I think Edey's going to do it.
Yeah.
He's given you against high major opponents 28-13 every time he takes the floor, so it's been more of the same tonight.
22 and 11 tonight. 22 points, 11 rebounds for Edey. Mason Gillis with the foul. Evan Bronze with the foul on Mason Gillis. There's Zach Edey climbing the ladder. He is looking to dislodge.
If he scores
Robbie
1 point a game for the
Yes.
next 30, then
you know what?
There's still some hope.
There's a chance that Robbie Hummel still is in the top 10 in school history.
I don't think it's a good chance.
Maybe Zach Edey will just decide he's bored with the game of basketball and he'll move
feel
on.
sorry for me.
Yes, he'll say,
I'm gonna,
you know what, I'm
gonna
going.
quit on scoring.
He's only going to rebound and block shots.
I don't like my chances here, Kevin.
No, I feel like by the end of December you will no longer be top 10. Maybe by the end of tonight. That would be a record, by the way. If he breaks your record, knocks you out of the top 10 tonight, he'd need 40.
He goes for 40 more in the next 13 minutes?
Yep. Could be a 62-point night.
I like the way Purdue has looked up the floor against Iowa's pressure. There's been times where they've really had a hard time against this Hawkeye team at getting the ball and looking to attack off the press, and that has not been the case tonight.
Evan Bronze in the game again, gets his second quick foul, and Edey headed to the free throw line. Camden Heide back in for Purdue. And it seems to be, doesn't matter who's on the floor for Purdue tonight, everybody's looking up the floor, everybody's looking to move the basketball. It rarely has stopped on the offensive end.
Well, even when he took his seat in that first half, you know, Purdue, with Trey Kaufman running at the 5, they pushed the lead out. Everyone that's played for the Boilermakers has come in and contributed. I certainly think this is the response that Matt Painter was looking for. Coming off a tough road loss, they certainly had every chance in the world to win that game on Friday night. Probably feel like they let that one slip through the cracks, but it's back to business as usual, and Purdue has handled business tonight.
Just the Boilers' third miss at the line tonight. That missed free throw by Edey. They're 11 of 14 at the stripe.
If I'm Iowa, I'm thinking I got to get Peyton Sanford something. We've got to find him a look, and there you're trying to run something for him. They're just not going to win games if he doesn't score. And I'll say the same for Patrick McCaffrey. He's only taken, 3 shots? That's just not enough.
And the 2 have combined for 7 until that 3 for Peyton Sanford. We talked about it earlier, who that alpha is going to be. We know who it is for Purdue. Iowa's still looking for that score.
The press has just not phased Purdue one bit. And they have shredded this look, and every time they're getting something out of it.
McCaffrey on the run. That is a foul. Heide with the personal.
Lance Jones gives them a second ball handler. I say that with him right now. He's the primary ball handler, but you put him out there with Braden Smith, you've got 2 guys that you feel good about handling against the press. It's just been, whether it's open threes, dunks, layups, I mean, you name it, they've gotten it.
Lance Jones, the Southern Illinois transfer, was known mainly for his defense, although he was a prolific scorer, over 1,500 points for the Salukis. But all defensive team, 3rd team Valley pick last year, averaged almost 14 points per game while defending at an incredibly high level. Out of Evanston, Illinois, didn't get what he wanted out of his homecoming on Friday night in the loss to Northwestern. Boy, has he rebounded and played well tonight.
Well, he and Marcus Damask had to really do the heavy lifting for their offense. Damask now at Illinois. And some of the shots that Lance Jones took last year are, I would say, not helpful to your percentage because so much was asked. That is a shot that's helpful to your percentage. That's an open look. I think he shot 42% from three as a sophomore. Last year, that certainly dipped with his volume. But he's got real burst. I mean, he can really go.
Here's McCaffrey on the run off the turnover. Sanford for three, and maybe a little rhythm for Peyton Sanford. Sometimes it just takes one. Now he's hit back-to-back threes.
That ball go through the net. There, they force a turnover. Boy, Mason Gillis. Hate to see that. Him and Zach Edey just got tied up.
They collided, and Gillis with the worst of that, holding his left ankle. He's played so well tonight. 12 points, but down right now, rotating that left ankle. So he'll be helped up.
Braden Smith tonight hasn't had to score, but still 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and he's going to get a triple-double this season. I think that's just a matter of time.
There's Jones. 11 second-half points for Lance Jones. He came out of the locker room on fire, and he's trying to continue it now. Good challenge, but first there to clean it up. 4 to shoot. Going to have to hurry. Morton on the run, on the attack. Rejected again. Evan Bronze with a swoop and a swat.
Morton looking for his first bucket since the Xavier game. Nice little drive down the lane, and Evan Bronze just volleyball spikes that out of here.
Well, that's a really good play by a guy who hasn't seen a lot of action yet in a Hawkeye uniform. 0.6 of a second on the shot clock for Purdue to work with. And it's Jones for three.
That didn't hit the normal.
Yeah, he didn't need to do the...
That's what Matt Painter's telling him. Shoot your normal shot. 0.6 of a second. You could
catch and shoot.
That thing.
Something to learn from for this game for Purdue. Up by 30. Here's Sanford. Rebound inside for Dembele. Yeah, really good pass. Floated short, and first with a rebound, stripped away to Jones.
Iowa, their coaching staff is high on Dembele. He's certainly got a physical presence to him, has a nice skill set. He's gotten a lot better since he arrived on campus in Iowa City, and I think that he can be a player.
Hoffman-Wren fouled by Evan Bronze. That's his third. 1-on-1 opportunity coming up for the Boilermakers. Purdue in the second half, Robbie. 71% shooting in the second half. Hawkeyes 38%. And Iowa fans are saying, yeah, you know what? We've seen this movie before at Mackey Arena. Boilers have won 8 of the last 10 here, and this has sometimes been a place that if you're a Hawkeye, you can't wait to leave. And that's going to be a foul going the other way on Caleb First.
Well, Iowa came out knowing they had to force some turnovers. They've shown pressure, and Purdue has just handled it flawlessly. They have every time attacked that Iowa press to score. And they have scored, seemingly. It's felt like almost every time.
Here's McCaffrey. He can get it going a little bit. Sanford. 8 to shoot.
I think for Patrick McCaffrey, I like him, and I think he's at his best when he's curling it into the paint. Whether it's off a screen or creating his own momentum, and we have not seen him do that tonight.
No, he's so long, and he leans in well to the basket.
Transition,
yeah, tough
set
matchup.
Pin downs, get him going towards the basket.
No, I love his game when he's rolling to the rim and he can use that length.
Yeah.
Not to say he's not a good shooter because he is from outside, but he can be deadly attacking the rim.
And Purdue has done the job defensively tonight on these Iowa guards, especially in transition. Because all three, Desante Bowen, Tony Perkins, Patrick McCaffrey, you look at the majority of their possessions, they are living in transition. And the water has been shut off for Iowa on fast break points tonight, just 8.
8-3. We've just not seen much in the way of breaks. Camden Heide sits down as Miles Colvin returns. There's Cricky. From double figures tonight for the 28th straight game. That floater drops for Brock Harding. He's such an interesting true freshman. He's got a real upside for this Iowa squad.
He's made threes, but has struggled from 2. So good to see him. Little floater. Purdue not great on that ball screen. He comes off, just gets to that mid-range shot, floats it up there.
Kaufman-Renn against Dembele, really patient.
He is so good at going to his right hand. And when he's got space like that to operate, he will pivot and find his way to his left shoulder, but they're using a head fake. Same result.
Here's McCaffrey going down the baseline in traffic and draws the foul. Boy, Colvin hits the deck hard.
Well, he fell hard against Texas Southern 2 games ago.
He did.
Jumped over a player and just got his legs caught up. Must be nice to be young and athletic.
Which he is. Both counts.
Yes, he is. Nice drive by Patrick McCaffrey, kind of tight-roping that baseline. And you see Colvin going down.
One more for McCaffrey. 76-47 as we check in with Andy.
You know, during the course of Fran McCaffrey's Big Ten career, certainly over the last 5 years or plus, these teams have gotten better. There is a stat in the month of December in Big Ten games that shows that growth because they are 2-8 since the Big Ten started playing games in December in 2017. 2-8. But as we know, Iowa teams have been much improved throughout the course of the Big Ten season.
And I think you'll see that with this Iowa team, too, as these guys learn each other, learn these roles. Lance Jones again from 3.
I'd love to see who Iowa's playing now knowing that stat. I mean, that's pretty wild considering the success that they've had.
14 this half for Jones, chasing Harding. That runner not going to go. Offensive rebound. Sanford feeding Cricky for the easy 2. Well, the Hawkeyes have themselves quite a week. They've got in-state rival Iowa State on Thursday. Then they're back in conference play on Sunday against Michigan. This will be a test this week.
Well, it really will. I think for this Iowa team, still trying to define roles and find what they are on both ends. This has been a struggle offensively, kind of like the Oklahoma game was. Yep. They struggled to score in that game as well. You got a lot of new faces, new roles, and some new bodies. And certainly, Fran McCaffrey is trying to put all those pieces together.
We've seen it happen, though, year in and year out with Coach McCaffrey. As we wind through conference season, they'll find those roles and they'll get that combination put together.
I think they've got to get out and run.
Yeah.
Right now, the half-court offense just a little bit of a slog here tonight in West Lafayette. The running's been taken away. So certainly a big week for the Wisconsin Badgers.
You'll be with Minnesota and Nebraska Wednesday night on the Big Ten Network. Nebraska trying to bounce back. They got pounded by Creighton yesterday.
Boy, Creighton really played well on offense. And certainly an interesting week for Greg McDermott's ball club, but a real response by that team.
We'll see what kind of response Fred Hoiberg's team is able to cook up. That's the second game of the night on the Big Ten Network on Wednesday. On the run, and Freeman gets to the rim. Are they going to count the bucket, or is it a foul first? I think they did too. Foul first from first.
I like the rim run. Owen Freeman can really be a player for Iowa. It's been a tough night for him tonight. Look at who he's having to guard. He's had to battle Zach Edey. Has not scored, just 0 of 2, but I think the way that he's moved people, making the jump from high school to college, he can score in the post. Coming into the night, 11 of 14 from the field on post-ups, but he's also got some real skill to him. He can handle it. I think he's going to be a guy that Fran McCaffrey is going to have a hard time keeping off the floor.
We saw against North Florida the other night where he had 3 blocks on one play. Yeah. Really impressive.
Mike Hill, our esteemed studio colleague.
No, Mike Hall.
I know, I just wanted to do that because he messed my name up on the pregame show. But he referenced Charles Smith in the Bulls game back in the 93 where he got a shot blocked all those times. Similar play.
Cricky on the drive. Big collision underneath it. Strong enough to muscle it in.
Like Purdue getting vertical and Cricky just hanging in the air. He's finished there. And Iowa has found some buckets here. It was such a struggle for the majority of the first say 25-30 minutes of this game to score, but they can use some of that and certainly take some positives with them to Ames. There haven't been many, but they're going to need to play well in a building. Milton is no joke. No.
And it doesn't matter what kind of team Iowa State has, what kind of team Iowa has.
Especially in that game.
That game is, we've seen it so many times. It's a great rivalry. I had the chance to do that game a few years ago. You've been involved in that before. It's just a fun matchup. For those of us who aren't living in the state of Iowa, for the people who live in the state of Iowa, I don't know if it's fun unless you win that game.
Depends on the year. Yeah, depends on the result.
And a foul. That'll go on. Miles Colvin. So we've been talking about that Iowa schedule, and now we present it to you in graphic form. Thursday at Iowa State, and then Sunday in the Big Ten Network against Michigan. Florida A&M, UMBC, Northern Illinois, and then it'll wrap right around to conference play the rest of the way. But we heard Ray Feld talking about it in the pregame and at halftime. You use these early conference games, it really exposes things, good or bad, and then you have the chance over the next few weeks to work on them before conference play resumes.
The coaches, I'm not sure, love it.
Yeah, no,
I do think.
I think that's a fair assessment.
It is great for the game and for the fans.
We love it.
I mean, you look at the matchups you get.
Camden Heidi just a little bit short. He's still down. 5-on-4 for the Hawkeyes as Heidi tries to get back into the play. Cricky will dump it down to Freeman, and Freeman will finish it off.
Nice job there by Iowa. Disadvantage basketball. Cam Heidi unable to finish the lob, and boy, that's a little worse for the wear. Big-to-big passing, and Iowa finding an easy one.
Entry down low, and that'll be a foul on Cricky. Cricky disagrees with the call. Won't change the call, however. That's his fourth. Looking ahead for Purdue Saturday against Alabama. That is in Toronto. And then the new #1 team, Arizona, a week later before a couple of dips out of conference and then back in on the road at Maryland to start conference again.
Arizona might as well be in the Big Ten this year. Michigan State, they're playing Wisconsin. They've got Purdue.
Future Big 12, Big 10 clash. Perkins looking. Tony Perkins with 10 tonight. 4 of 11 shooting. Freeman in the post. Spins past Kaufman-Renn. That's nice.
That's no joke either. I mean, Trey Kaufman-Renn has a real physicality about him. Freeman can spin baseline. He can body and get to his jump hook. He's got some real ability in the post.
If you're Fran McCaffrey, you're pleased to see this in the second half. It's a 3-point difference in the second half, and likely this game is well in hand for Purdue, but they're still playing hard.
Yeah, and much like Purdue, losing Friday and having to turn around play Monday, I mean, this is a quick turnaround for Iowa now. And they're going to have no time to feel sorry for themselves because they've got a heck of a 2-game stretch coming up with your in-state rival and then a Big Ten game. So certainly you're going to try to take the positives from the second half and have a better effort, and it's one of the bigger games on their schedule every year.
8-0 run for the Hawkeyes to get this down to 22. Colvin showing that athleticism. That's a really athletic hit.
Yes, he's got a ton of ability. He's going to have to guard better. He's going to have to be more locked in defensively, like you say that about most freshmen.
Yep.
But he can come in a game and turn it on its side with his shooting and ability at any given moment.
Well, we knew he was athletic at the Final Four. It was Cohen Carr, high school dunk champion.
Losing to Cohen Carr, there is no shame in that.
No, very few high schoolers are going to beat Cohen Carr. Very few college players.
Most NBA guys aren't beating Cohen Carr.
There's more. Make no mistake, Colvin can dunk, but he loves to shoot the three.
No doubt.
On the drive, first inside, no, and the rebound cleared out for the Hawkeyes. McCaffrey, a little short on the three. Morton cradles the rebound. Likely the night done for Zach Edey. We've not seen him for a while. Ends with a double-double, 25 points, 12 rebounds.
It's every night with him. It's truly amazing. Just the dominance night in and night out that he brings.
Colvin for three. A little short that time. Cricky tips the rebound to his teammate. Perkins on the push, end-to-end floater, caught back iron and drops. He's got 12.
Just want to see Tony Perkins be a guy that can bring a level of consistency to his game. I truly believe that he has the ability to be the alpha dog on this team, and certainly he's shown that he can do that. It's just about doing it night to night.
Holden no good on that shot. Going to be such a hard week again for Tony Perkins. He'll go home after this game to Indianapolis. His grandmother's funeral is Wednesday. Then he'll go right back to work with the Hawkeyes against Iowa State and Michigan. A lot of emotions. It'll run the gamut for that young man who's so close to his grandmother. Really just an integral part in raising him. And she passed rather suddenly, and gosh, anybody who's lost somebody important to them knows what that young man's going through right now. Inside, and First flips it over the rim. So first 2 points for Caleb First tonight. To shoot, coming up on 2 to play. Perkins the leaner through contact, and the rebound for Kaufman Wren is 6th.
We might not get to the media time.
No, I may just run it down.
This kind of feels like pickup out here.
Peas have fallen out of the whistles. Nobody is blowing them. Ethan Morton content to just dribble this one down. Cam Edey feeding it to Kaufman Wren, 7 to shoot. Bouncing around, ball loose on the floor. Sanford's got it, and Sanford, did he get hurt?
I don't know.
He fell.
I think he's just tired.
I think he is too. Yeah, he is. He's just like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. 91 seconds until magic happens, but until then, you've got us. Thank you, Mike. Our experts discuss everything happening in the conference on Big Ten Today, weekdays at noon Eastern, only on the Big Ten Network.
You know, I have so much respect for studio hosts. I think they do a great job, but I think it's very easy the way that Mike just kind of says, you know, Rainfeld, what did you think about tonight? And then Rainfeld does all the heavy lifting.
Yeah. I mean, really the burden is on the analyst.
No doubt. I mean, I don't feel that way about the other hosts, but tonight, that's how I felt.
No, Rick Pizzo, what a great job he does.
Yeah, tremendous work.
Bowen probing for Iowa. Bryce Sanford up top to Dix. And the rebound tipped over to the Hawkeyes. Second chance. Sanford. And Bryce Sanford, the younger brother of Peyton, Mr. Basketball in the state of Iowa last year, gets his first 2 of the night.
And maybe that kind of jumpstarts him because he's got a big-time reputation as a shooter. He has struggled putting the ball in the hole here early in his Iowa career.
Trying to get it into Wilberg off the bench. Taken away by Freeman. 38 seconds and counting. Purdue has been in control since the early going in this one. A huge response to the loss on Friday. Sanford for 3, and there's 5 quick for Bryce Sanford.
He can stroke it. He's not done it yet. Just 29 from the field, 20 from 3 coming into tonight, but he can put that thing in the hole. He's got some confidence, and good to see him make 2 shots here late.
Well, we're not going to get a historic Purdue win tonight like we teased earlier, but a dominant Purdue performance as the Boilermakers even their conference record at 1-1 and move to 8-1 on the year with an 87-68 win over the Iowa Hawkeyes.